All right, welcome back, everyone. This week's Picture of the Week is being brought to you by Flowers. It's still deer processing for one more weekend, youth weekends this weekend, so they're still open for deer processing. Our first picture here, let's see this. Oh, this is Hunter Rednauer, and he caught these fine fish on Kentucky Lake. Now, what you don't know is he caught them in October, latter part of October. Those are 2 toads right there.
That's serious.
That's serious. And I can tell you, he told me, he said, you can go ahead and tell him, I can tell you what he caught. He caught him on a bull shed.
I knew you were going to say that.
Our next picture here, let's see. This is Hunter again. This is Hunter, and these are 2 other ones that he caught on the very next day off the bull shed. And Mike Bucca is coming on the show in not too long from now talking about the bull shed. Here's 2 good friends of mine. You might recognize one of them. Chris Snow, he's been on the show many, many times before. And Trent Peterson from Clark Marine is on there also. They went out to Center Hill. And these are 5 nice ones. Actually, I think there's 6 there. They were not in a tournament, though. They were not in a tournament. But he said, Hugh, we caught 20 plus fish and smallmouth, all on Center Hill, all on the snow spin baits. Well, of course, you wouldn't fish anything else. All right, now the last picture here, this is Bo Hargrove. This is Andy Hargrove's son, and look here, he took his first deer this year with a crossbow. That's a way to go, Bo. I'm telling you, I love it when the kids take crossbows and archery and they take their first deer. Hey, you can send your pictures to us here at Southern Woods and Waters, 474 James Robinson Parkway, Nashville, Tennessee, 37219, or simply email them to me at Hugh@southernwoodsandwaters.com. We'll get them on there really, really fast for you. I say fast. We have been inundated with a bunch of pictures. Just keep them coming, though. Keep them coming. We got tons of pictures now. I think everybody got out during Christmas and New Year's.
You know, I'll tell you what, if you're an outdoorsman and you live in Tennessee or anywhere near Tennessee, this is like a magical place.
It is. I mean, it's just right. We don't get the real thick snows and the hard snows, and we don't get all the rain like they get in some southern parts, but it's just right.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, the state flag is 3 stars, and it represents the 3 geographical areas. I mean, the Delta side on the west side, west side of Tennessee, West Tennessee, it's completely different than east, which is mountainous, and then you got middle, which is a little of everything. I mean, you can drive 3 hours and have anything, just about anything.
And Joey,
you want.
You might not have noticed it, but they talk different too.
You're kidding. Or is that just me that talks different?
That's just you, brother. They really do. I really do. I kid you not. I love going to East Tennessee because I love to hear Ewins. And they say Ewins a lot.
Right. Yeah, they do.
And I've got to where I'm starting to use it a little bit. But just love it. Love all 3 phases of Tennessee, just like you do.
Right.
You know, we got some great things coming on about the lakes. And this show that you guys are in talks a lot about all 3 regions of Tennessee.
It does, and you know, you've got guide services there, you've got vacation spots, and you got, I mean, if you think about the waters that we have in Tennessee, we have just about everything. I mean, if you like rivers, if you like lakes, if you like streams, you can look at the state-managed lakes. I mean, you got to remember,
awesome.
They're from 22 acres to 560 acres for some of the state-managed lakes. Some of the biggest fish we catch come out of those lakes.
Some of the biggest bass come out of Gibson County Lake.
Yes,
did you know that?
I did.
It has the Florida strain, and it has the Florida strain in it.
It does.
But it's a kind of a warmer water lake.
Yes.
But it is a WMA lake.
Yes.
And it has got some huge largemouth.
Those Florida strain you can only go so far north where they'll survive, and we're right at it. And
right on it.
I mean, when you catch a Florida strain largemouth, first they look a little different. They're a little blacker across the back, and when they put a tug on you, I mean, you know it.
Oh yeah, it looks like they're wearing shoulder pads when you bring one in.
Absolutely.
But you know, then we got that. We got Dale Hollow's being represented. Bobby Gentry's over there at the show,
next to us,
right next door to you guys.
Yeah.
Talking about Dale Hollow Lake. My goodness, you know, Dale Hollow. Now a lot of people were concerned last year. We had several smallmouth die off, and we're floating, but he says it's come back, and he's coming back with a vengeance.
You know, I think Bridget would agree with this. I think one of the things that happens, if you just let nature take its course, it all has a way of correcting itself. Nobody's happy to see it die off. We don't want to see, like in our whitetail, chronic wasting disease and all that stuff. But if you think back, you're a lot younger than I am, but if you think back, if you talk to people that lived here in the late 50s, they didn't see any white-tailed deer, but we did a restoration program.
That's right.
There was no turkeys here in the middle 80s, but now, I mean, there's turkeys everywhere. So we are blessed with an area and people that know how to manage that resource, and their goal is to have a sustainable population, and we're proof of that. I mean, when you start seeing the pictures of the fish and the deer and the birds and all that, I mean, again, you know, and you go to the boat show and you can sit down just like we are here and have that conversation with a guide, with a seminar speaker, with a boat dealer. I mean,
sure.
We all have our own stories, and it's this is just a great place to be in that boat show. I'm telling you, I'm ready to roll out a sleeping bag and stay there.
Now, Bridget, you've been there, a lot of boats out there. You've seen all the deals and going on and everything. You still love the kayak. I understand that.
Still do.
But, I mean, if you were given a choice and you wanted a bass boat or run around or something, is this not the place to go?
Oh, this is absolutely the place to go.
You've
got folks just sitting around talking about fishing and being out on
pleasure
the water.
boating, everything.
And you know, when you think about this, you know, like at Nashville Marine, David McMurray, he put together a G3 for me that has a live well in it. Now, if you're not familiar with a G3, it's an aluminum boat.
That's right.
And this one's a 14-footer, and it's a little wider, very, very stable. He rigged it up to where I could plug my trolling motor in the very back of the boat and put a battery box in the middle. I mean, you go to, you know, when you have people that are after your business like this and take good care of you because they want repeat business, I mean, you can kind of almost, you can't name your own price, but I can tell you this, at the boat show, you're never going to get a better deal, a better selection, or a better price than you can get right now at the Progressive Nashville Boat Sports Show.
And he's very right, and I'm going to tell you something else. Because he mentioned Nashville Marine, David McMurray asked me to give an announcement tonight on this show. That's right. This is big. This is huge, ladies and gentlemen. If you're interested in a bass boat, and you're interested in a great bass boat, check out Nashville Marine Phoenix Boats. Now, here's the deal. If you get a Mercury Marine is offering a 2-year warranty. That's across the board on Mercury's now. 2-year warranty. David McMurray says if you'll come to the show, and if it's attached to a Phoenix boat, he's going to add another 5 years of warranty on that. That's somebody that's walking away with a 7-year warranty on a motor with a brand new boat.
That's unheard of.
That's at this show and this show only.
Right.
So you got to do it.
It could never be a better time to go down and get it.
You're right, and never a better time. And while they're filling out the paperwork, and while you're filling out all the paperwork there, Joey and Bridget will be doing seminars, and we can go over there and learn how to use that boat.
There you go.
In a kayak form.
Yeah. We'll show you what to throw from that boat. I guarantee you that.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. What are you doing out there now? I mean, you're catching fish.
Well, you know, I have never been a really great cold water fisherman, and so when things aren't working for you, is do something different. I started fishing the creek channels, and we were out. I'm not going to tell you where we were, but I will tell you we were on public water, and I was fishing a creek channel, and the water was 46 degrees, and I am a jig fisherman. If they breathe on a jig, they're coming to the boat.
That's right.
Yeah, so I was fishing a jig, and I lost a huge fish at the boat. And you know how it is. I don't remember all the big fish I caught, but I can tell you every big fish I lost.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, right after that, I caught one that probably weighed somewhere. It was 22.5 inches on the bump board, so it was probably, and it was fat. It was every bit of 8 pounds. Got pictures, so we got that. And again, when you come to the show, I don't have any secrets. We want to tell you what it is that we're doing. We'll show you the baits. We'll show you the tricks. And to me, it's like that's the fun part of like doing a TV show like this. We're not here just to show people pictures of us. We're here to tell you how you can do it. Yeah, fishing is a participation sport.
That's right.
And I tell people, if you're fishing and you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
We're doing it wrong.
This wasn't a good crappie year for us, but boy, we caught a bunch of big bass.
Well, I tell you what, I'm the same way as you are, Joey. A lot of guys want to hold secrets and keep it quiet where they can. Oh, not me. I don't own those fish. I want them to enjoy catching them just as much as I did.
Well, you know, at the bottom of my email, and we probably don't send a lot of emails out, but at the bottom of my email, it says the outdoors don't belong to us. We're just borrowing them from the next generation.
That's it.
That's why you want to catch and release, and that's why you see a 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old buck, you want to let him walk, a 6-pointer that turns into an 8, and it just makes sense. And again, we're helping to manage. Not just, we want people to find what we found in the outdoors and enjoy it just the same way we do.
And 1959 was the first year we had deer season here in Tennessee, and you could only take one buck Could take any dose, nothing else but one buck. Now we've progressed now to we have an approximation of about 1 million in the herd now. So you can see what catch and release and have conservation-minded people can do.
Yeah, those deer are all on the highway when I'm driving too. I see them all the time. My first 2 deer I got with a Chevy.
Was tenderized already.
Yeah, we call it fast food.
Fast food. I got to use that one more time myself. That's awesome. Well, Bridget, are you from Tennessee?
I'm out of upstate New York and South Central Pennsylvania originally.
I knew you had that over there.
Yes, guilty.
So what do you think about Tennessee?
There are so many different types of water you can fish. I mean, just like Joey was saying. And I love skinny water, and there's an abundance of skinny water and moving water. And
I got to ask you two. You two are avid kayakers now. I mean, that's being branded on you, really, according to Facebook and all this. And that's all y'all seem to be in. Water temp's like 34 degrees, ladies and gentlemen.
You bring up a great point. Let me tell you something. You bring up a really, really good point, because with the Coast Guard, they've got what they call their 50-50-50 that they advertise.
That's
if
right.
the water's 50 degrees, you're in it for 50 minutes, you only have a 50% chance of survival.
That's exactly right.
So what you do want to do is you want to dress, we call it dress for success. Nothing against the people that raise cotton, but in a kayak, cotton is rotten.
That's it.
You want to wear things that are waterproof, water resistant. Wool is your friend. You want to layer up, and you do want to, you know, I wear a life jacket. Now, I preach this. You see all the times I post something. I said,
That's
please
right.
zip up your life jacket.
Have it on.
I wear it 100% of the time. Now, I got pretty good balance. And I stand up in that kayak and
Yes, you
fish.
do.
But I'm going to tell you, when you get that unexpected polar bear plunge, it's actually dangerous. So if you dress for it and use a little common sense, the best thing is when you're getting in, getting out, and if you're going to stand up or you're going to sit the whole time, if you stay in the middle, you're going to be good.
Now, I always carry an extra set of clothes. I've got a wet bag that I put in there in my kayak. I'm in a dry bag. Dry bag. Thank you. Dry bag. I got a dry bag. I keep an extra set of clothes. Well, you know, Scott's been with me. Scott and I went on a 14-mile kayaking trip on the Calf Killer. Awesome
beautiful.
river.
Yeah.
Beautiful river. But Scott and I carried a couple other boys with us, and I think there was like 9 of us went. Well, one of us, and I won't mention his name, but he had one accident. He had one accident. Well, he had his dry bag, and he had his clothes in that, so he changes. He didn't go, Scott, what did you do? Maybe another 4 miles. And
Rolled it again?
Rolled it again.
Oh.
Now we are out. Dry bag is empty. But he's about the same size I am. He said, you know what, Hugh, can I have some of your clothes? So I gave him mine. I'm being gentleman. I'm all right. I'm dry. I said, but guess what? If I roll, you're going to be
coming out
naked.
of those. If there was 9 of you and you're on the Calf Killer River, you raised the population of that county by double.
Yeah, we did. We did. I tell you what, but great lake, or river, I mean.
Yeah.
A great river. Clear as a bell.
Yes.
You could see the muskie running. You could see smallmouth. I'm right below you.
One of the things that happens at the seminars, we encourage people to ask questions. Come and bring your toughest question. If we don't know, we'll make something up.
That's right.
But you know, when you go out there and you start to see that clear water, and when you're in a river, I tell people there's magic in moving water. Rivers change constantly. They're warmer in the winter, they're cooler in the summer because it's moving water.
That's right.
They're highly oxygenated. I mean, it's a great place, whether you're talking about your grandkids like beginner fishermen or for the people that are seasoned anglers. I mean, if you haven't been on a Middle Tennessee River or a Tennessee River, you're making a really big mistake.
You are.
Yeah, there's lots to catch out there.
There's lots to catch, and it seems like they got more muscle.
They do.
You know, it's
because
not
they're-
like a lake. You catch a lake smallmouth, and there's a difference, Joey. Lake smallmouth and a Duck River smallmouth,
Yeah.
2 different creatures.
They got broad shoulders. You know, we say this all the time. You can see the pictures of the fish that we're sending, and it's no secret. I fish rivers a lot, and I like them. I mean, that current will position those fish. So there's a lot to be said for fish in moving water, because first of all, it's always changing. The food sources there are, I mean, there's everything.
There's a bunch.
There's
Yeah.
everything. I mean, you
Everything
got
in
the
the
same
world.
shad that you got
Yeah.
in the lake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no reason. And then you know, again, you can migrate that river. We've taken floats that are like 9 miles, and sometimes it's a takeout, sometimes it's a paddle back. So that's what you want to remember is like, you paddle 4 miles that way, guess what you got ahead of you?
You got a bull.
That's right. That's right.
Unless you got a buddy that went down there and is going to pick you up.
Nobody likes me that much.
I heard that. Hey, next we got to do our product of the week. So let's go do it right now. And what I got for you, let me tell you something. I just picked this up, and I'm an all-pro rod fan. I am a huge all-pro rod fan. We were talking about this earlier, the A-Rig. You know, a lot of people are throwing the A-Rigs and everything. This is the all-pro rod frog rod. The eyes are a lot lower. They got more low profile, able to send that frog a lot further. But guess what? It is an awesome A-Rig rod. I have found out this thing produces some of the best action on an A-Rig is with this rod right here. Now, it should say A-Rig and frog, but it doesn't. It just says frog. But it's all pro rod. Check them out at your dealer. And there's something that goes along with it. I'm switching back to what I used to catch fish on, and that was Abu Garcia. I love the Garcia, and I'm switching back. I'm going back to the old style where I was raised, was Garcias, and I'm going back. Well, they've come out with a winch. Now, the winch with braided line, Suffix line, 832 braid, low profile eyes, frog rod, Lookout, Gunnersville, Chickamauga.
You could pull up a 58 Chevy with that.
I could pull your kayak with this.
You probably could.
There's
And,
your ride.
it's important to have the right rod for that Alabama rig, because if you don't,
It will break one.
if you're going to take an old rod, and I'll tell you right now, it's going to break 6 inches up.
Yep.
And between the braid and the Alabama rig, which you need both of those to throw that, you got to have a rod designed specifically for that.
It. You're exactly right, Joey. And we got to take a break. Visit some more of our fine sponsors. When we come back, we're going to have more. Plus, we're going to open up the phone lines here at 737-7767. Been gone 2 weeks, and I still remember the number. Hurry back for more Southern Woods of Water.